You're now tuning into
The Cover Gang.
What's going on, Cover Gang? Happy holidays, everyone. We skipped out this Monday. We did not do a recap, so we're going to do it all built into this one video right here. We're going to talk about how last week went, and then we're going to jump into the spreads for Week 17. And I think we could squeeze it all into one video this week. I know everyone's busy traveling and everything, but not a great week for us. We both went 7 and 9. I am down 1 unit. I did hit my double unit play, so it almost got me to break even on the week, but just unfortunate swings or turns of events in the final quarters of those games. You know, we were looking good on the Titans spread. We were looking good on the Jets spread all game. The Vikings were up.
Minnesota seemed like it was definitely alive. It was in the 1 o'clock thing. I think I texted you on what was it, Christmas Eve, and I was like, it looks like we have a chance to win all of the ones in the 1 o'clock, and then I went and done some stuff with family and came back, and it was like everybody that we were against was coming back for some reason. It just everybody flipped. So.
If you were a live better like in last week and you bet at like halftime the contrarian side, I mean, you probably hit pretty good on every bet. I mean,
I felt really good about Titans. Like I said, I thought Vikings would pull through and at least cover, and Jets, I wrote that off as a win. It was everything just came crashing down at once, but we still made it through at 7 and 9. I think I gave out 4 double unit plays. Well, I gave out 3 double unit plays, and then I said triple unit, quadruple unit. You know, this is going to be one of my biggest plays of the year, and it was Baltimore plus the 6.5 or plus 6 or whatever we got at the time, and that hit. So that ended up, I didn't have to pay in. I think I ended up only like a little bit over. You know, I'm not getting paid a lot this week, but
yeah.
I'm thankful for that game for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely the game of the week for us. We were big on that one and kind of went, I mean, a little more one-sided than I was expecting, but that's kind of the curse that these Super Bowl favorites, MVP favorites are facing right now. As soon as they become the favorite, they just get whacked. So now we got the Ravens looking like clear favorites with Lamar Jackson leading the MVP race. It's like, you know, they got the Dolphins this week.
Fishy line too, 3.5 at home. It's like, ugh.
And it was just at 3 before they blew out the 49ers, so the book's not giving you too much on that. You know, and line barely moves after that, so they know that it means probably Dolphins are the sharp side on this one. But we'll get into that. So let's do the Thursday night pick since we're doing the recap right here, right now. We got the Jets at the Browns, the last Thursday night football game of the year. Two defense-heavy teams. Big number. I'm going to take the Jets plus 7.5. Joe Flacco is balling, that's for sure. Cleveland's good at home, so it does worry me a little bit. But if it were at 6, I'd probably take Browns. But I think 7.5 is just too much value for this Jets team, so I'm going to rock with the New York Jets on Thursday night.
It's a little weird because the owner came out and said that Robert Saleh and the GM Douglas was both coming back next year. Aaron Rodgers probably had his hand in that mix, making sure that they both come back or whatever. So, yeah, I like the Jets here as well. I mean, Robert Saleh's not coaching for his job now, as a lot of people thought. But, yeah, Simeon, he played decent last week. Like I said, that defense let Washington come back, still able to win the game on the game-winning field goal. But, yeah, 7.5 is just... And Joe Flacco, he keeps proving people wrong. I mean, he's playing great football right now, but I see it just being a low-scoring game. If the Jets can put up at least a touchdown, maybe 2, I think they cover being underdogs of more than a touchdown. So it's a regular unit play for me because I really don't know. The Jets, it's always weird with them, the noise that's coming out of there. It's like, are these guys up to play for Saleh now, or did some of them want him gone? And they're like, well, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Some people think Aaron has too much pull. I just don't know what's coming out of that locker room. And Browns are flying high right now. That was one of me and you texted before the season, and I said my favorite play going into the year is Browns over 9.5 wins, and that cash.
Yep.
So that where they're sitting at 10-5 now, so that helped a lot. But yeah, I'm with you. Jets plus 7.5 regular unit because Browns are great at home, but it's too much to bite off over a touchdown and extra point.
All right. Next up, we got the Saturday game. It's a night game. Lions in Dallas. Seems like the bottom of the market for the Cowboys, and basically the Lions peaked right here. But this number is pretty high already. But it's just one of those spots where you take the Cowboys. I'm gonna take them -6 because everyone's out on them. Dak, his odds to win MVP cratered a little bit, and the Lions, they just clinched their division, so they feel pretty good. It's a good spot to let off the gas. And Dallas this is where they get right at home. That defense locks it in, and they take the ball away from the offense a couple times. And I just see them getting right after how much bad press they've had in the last week or so. They've gone from ups and downs of just this looks like the Super Bowl winning team to now they're phony. It's just back and forth. Tough game last week against the Dolphins. They looked pretty evenly matched. I was kind of shocked they didn't beat them in that one, but yeah, I'm gonna take the Dallas Cowboys get right here -6 at a 1.5. I think it's the sharp side.
Yeah, Dallas, kind of a weird game against Miami. Fumbled on the 1-yard line to that, handing it off to the fullback at the beginning of the game. Miami's defense played well, but they were missing their left tackle, Tyron Smith, I think. So he's supposed to be back for this game. We all know Dallas plays well at home. Like you said, Lions, maybe a little bit of a come-down spot, clinching the division for the first time since, I think, like 1993 or something. It's been like almost 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I like Cowboys -6 here. It opened up at 6.5, so the Sharps did come in and grab the half, the 6.5 and pushed it down towards Dallas. I mean, but yeah, that's just... It's just one of those games. It just seems like Dallas kind of embarrasses a good Detroit team at home, and then everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid again, saying this, they're a Super Bowl contender, and it's a roller coaster with this team. But I do still think they're a contender, even though losing barely to Miami. I think that they're a better team than Miami still at this point. But just a couple calls, couple plays, and go their way, whatever. And Lions, they have something to play for with all the the seeding and stuff. They only have 4 losses between them, Philly, Dallas, and the 49ers coming off a loss. That's still very much a thing with only 2 weeks left. But I'm with you here. It's just a regular unit play because it is a big number, and I could kind of see it coming down to the fourth quarter. But I'm gonna take Dallas to overpower this Detroit team and cover the 6 points.
All right, that's 2 for 2 we agree on. Next up, we got the first 1 o'clock game on Sunday. It's the Dolphins visiting the now Super Bowl favorites, Ravens. 3.5 is the number. It went from -3 to 3.5 like we talked about. You can still get -3 if you're feeling frisky. You want to take the Ravens here. I think I'm going to take the Dolphins because it just seems like the sharp side. Obviously, after what happened Monday, everybody's got that in their mind that the Ravens are far and away the best team in the league now, especially the way the 49ers looked prior to that game. So it just feels like the sharp thing to do. I know the Dolphins aren't that great on the road, but I think this game comes down to the wire. They're kind of cleaning up their act, especially winning that game against Dallas. That was a big game to prove a lot of the doubters wrong. So I like the Dolphins to at least cover the field goal here. I think 3.5 is value, so I'll take that. Just a regular unit though, because it is pretty low. It's a pretty low number. It's kind of a shocking number. I would think 4.5 maybe.
Yeah, I feel like it's the sharp side too. I think I'm gonna go square and take Baltimore here. Baltimore's kind of just been that cheat code. There's been a lot of times where they've been square this year to take them, and they do play better at home. Lamar's not as good when he's a favorite, but I just don't think that Vegas is really caught up with, even after they played San Fran so well. I think if they, on a neutral field, they would have San Francisco favored again. Like they would have them favored by 3 on a neutral field. It'd be a pick 'em if it was in Baltimore if they played again after what we've just seen.
Yeah.
But Baltimore has only lost 3 games this year, and all 3 they led by double digits going into the fourth quarter. They just blew it. So this is a really good team. And Miami, I wasn't impressed with the win over Dallas. I was impressed by the defense, he used to be a Bronco. What's his name? Bradley Chubb, the defensive end.
Mm-hmm. Bradley Chubb.
He looked like Lawrence Taylor out there last week. But like I say, he's going against a backup left tackle. That's not going to be the situation here with him going against Ronnie Stanley with the Ravens. But yeah, I just think that they get over. This is for the 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
So if Miami wins this game, them and Baltimore both have 4 losses, and it comes down to the head-to-head. And we know that Miami's not as good on the road. Baltimore, it's a hard place to play. And like I don't think the emotion. I don't think Lamar is emotional about the win against San Fran. I think he knows he should be MVP. He knows that this team is. He wants to win a Super Bowl. He's only won 1 playoff game in his career, so he knows it's his time. And I don't think he lets off the gas against a Miami team. So it's square, but I'll take it at a regular unit.
Yeah, I don't blame you, honestly. Like, my first gut instinct was if it's down at 3, I probably would still take Ravens. But
I'm trying to wait on the 3, but if I start to see some 3.5 get juiced up to go to 4, then I'll probably just go ahead and grab it. But I'm trying to wait on the 3 too.
I'm playing the sharp angle on this one because you're right. If I had to pick between these 2 teams, I think Baltimore, they can handle the title of being the number 1 power ranked team, and I think that they're not fraudulent at all. Whereas I think Dolphins, they get the Cowboys at home barely, but they're still.
Well, even that though, it kind of surprised me that Dolphins were favored. I know it was only about a 1.5 to 2 points last week. It kept kind of going back and forth. But I thought that would be a pick 'em. If anything, Dallas favored by a point, even though they haven't shown to be good on the road. But
right.
Vegas likes this Miami team because they are explosive. But when they play a physical defense like they're about to play on the road, I just don't. I think you see their flaws. And yeah, Lamar, like I said, I don't think that he even thinks about this San Francisco game going into this one. He's like, we got to get this to get the bye. They're a little banged up, so they getting a bye would be huge, and then to have the AFC travel through Baltimore would be big too. So, yeah, I really wish I could get the 3, but I don't mind swallowing the hook here when I think I'm getting a much better team.
All right, next up, we got the Titans at the Texans. What do we do with this Titans team, man? I mean, right away, I'm just like, I guess I will take Titans +5, but like.
That was such a good, easy play last week. And how does it... I got the 3, so I pushed. I watched on it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, just sharp as sharp can get taking Titans at home last week. And it was sharp all the way to the end. It makes for a better story as far as from a fan's perspective because now Seattle is still involved in the NFC wildcard race. These last 2 weeks is going to be, a little crazier. Titans been out of it, but I just don't know how the public got Seahawks -2.5 right. It's just
80%
it's so disgusting.
Of the bets
that
on
is
it.
So against our code, our morals, our betting logic. It just that one threw me for a loop even more than the Vikings. Getting the hook at home against the Lions. So.
That's just kind of been the trend this year. It's like a traditionally sharp spot. That's such
we keep saying road favorite. It's such a small road favorites.
Such a sucker bet, though. You look at that Seahawks -2.5, 80% of them coming in, clicking that. I mean, it's just a sucker bet, and it just still hits. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, same thing. Same things with the Lions minus, and that got bet down. To the sharps came in on the Vikings, and public was coming in heavy on the Lions, and they cut. It's just been a disgusting year to a certain degree. We're both still profitable. We're both still over 50%. I've only had to pay in twice this year, which is good. But, what to do with this? I mean, Titans are bad on the road. Tannehill looks like a pumpkin back there. Is like Will Levis back? I don't know.
I don't know who's getting the start in this one. Let's see if we can find anything real quick. But
I know CJ's going to be back.
It could be Levis. Let me see. Yeah,
I think Tannehill.
Right away, it's like I think I still have to take Titans. So,
it's a divisional game, but it's just
Tannehill. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Tannehill. I mean,
I'm gonna put a half unit on.
I'll just put a regular unit because you're putting Texas.
Yeah, half unit. I know it's nasty and
so
it's I don't even know if it's really chalky because Texans they're coming off a loss, but CJ's back, so maybe that's a little chalk, but Titans have been horrible on the road all season, and last week they just maybe I'm just biased after they let me down so bad against Seattle last week, but I can't do it.
All right, well, I'm gonna just take the number because I'll take it at +5 because this moved from like 3.5 all the way to 5 just because how bad the Titans look. So I'll just buy the dip.
Pros and Joe's probably both coming in on Texans.
Oh yeah, for sure, for good reason. But yeah, all right, we'll split on this one. Half unit for Tyler.
I can still get. I just looked at it though. I can still get a 4.5.
Oh yeah. There's a 4.5.
So I'll take half unit on that though. I don't love it.
All right. Next up, we got the Patriots at the Bills. Right away, classic game. Bills own them at home usually. It's a huge number though. It went from 11.5 all the way to 13 now. It was just 12 like 2 or 3 hours ago. I was feeling all right at 12. Now we're at 13. Bailey Zappe's playing a lot better than Mac Jones, oddly enough. I'm gonna take the Bills here just to stick with the trend. I know that it's a huge number, but I think there's a reason that the books lay it that big. And Patriots have had some good covering luck here in the past few weeks, so I'll take the Bills to just smash the Patriots like they normally do at home, and hopefully make it to the playoffs. Need the Bills in there.
Yeah, I want to be with you on this one too. The only thing that's in the back of my mind, and I know it hasn't came to fruition whatsoever this year, but it's just like Bill Belichick looks and he's like, "This is the last time I'm coaching against the Bills as a Patriots head coach."
True. This is true.
And they're 13 points. He's like, I'm not gonna even. I'm just gonna get blown out by the Bills. And then I play next week, and then I get fired or let go or however.
So he wants to prove some people wrong. His last hoorah.
Yeah, I don't know who they play. Who the Patriots play next week? I can't remember, to be honest. But it's this. I don't know if they played the Jets or
they played.
I don't think they played.
They play the Jets at home.
Yeah, so he does have one more AFC.
That's the one where he always, that's the one he's waiting to smash them because he always beats up on the Jets. He ain't worried about this Bill spot. He probably gonna get clobbered.
It's a half unit play either way, but I'll
I'm
gonna take the Bills at 12. You said what's the best I can get? 12.5?
Nope, 13.
13. Yeah, half unit, whatever.
Yeah, I'll take a regular unit Bills. All right. So that's only 2 we disagree out of 5 so far. But next up, we got the Rams at the Giants. I don't understand this.
Another square side.
Yeah, it's a square one that I think I'm happy to take. I think the Giants, they had their little bounce with Tommy DeVito covering and everything, and even with Tyrod some. But I just think this Rams team is actually pretty good at offense, and I think they just put up points, and the Giants cannot put up points. I don't see them stopping at least 2 or 3 touchdowns from Matt Stafford. If you look at his recent games, he gets in the end zone 2 or 3 times to his weapons. He's got several of them. I think it's actually kind of a blowout spot. The Rams beat him by a touchdown or 2, so I like Rams -4.5 at 1.5 units.
Yeah, watch this be the week that the Sharps just kill it because I'm on all these chalk sides. It sounds like so far, but I agree. I mean, it's 4.5. Like I don't like the Giants here whatsoever, but it sounds nasty. And the Rams, their problem is they just can't. Like last week, they won 30-22 against who was it? I can't remember off the top of my head, but anyways. But they let him hang around in the game, and
the Saints and Thursday Night Football.
The Saints, like they were up 30-7, I think, and then they let him get back in it, and it was honestly a coaching blunder to why they didn't. Dennis Allen went for it at like midfield rather than punting. They had enough time to probably get the ball back and make another try. And Sean McVay and Matt Stafford playing good right now. I don't think any home team in the NFC that wins their division wants to see them come into town the way Matt Stafford can sling it to these guys. But yeah, it's square, but I'm with you. But it's another. I don't love it. It feels half unit game. I have a lot of them. I just don't like the spreads this week.
Oh my God. Tyler dropping the half units everywhere. Just
everywhere. Because it's gross.
It's not supposed to work.
We would be like, We would be like Giants plus 4.5.
If this were last year, Giants plus 4.5, 100%, and we're probably hitting. Like we're probably covering. Yeah, but this year, no. You try to get cute, take the Giants right here, you get slammed for no reason.
Yeah, Rams win 40-12.
Yep, that's just how type of year it's been.
But I'm with you. I'll put a half unit on the nasty favorite on the road.
All right, next up, we got another huge line. Probably, tied for the biggest line of the week. We got the 49ers on the road at Washington. 13 points they're laying on the road after getting blown out. You know, I hate this game. Like, this is a half unit right away because we don't know what's going on in that Commanders locker room. That team, they're just, Jacoby comes in and he covers. He's like, I'm going to come back. You guys really suck, and I'm just bringing this team back, and we're going to cover for no reason. But other than that, you know, when they don't start Jacoby, they are toast. So I don't know what to do with this one because 49ers just got embarrassed. Usually teams that get blown out like that, they want to come back and just stomp somebody. But I can't take 49ers minus 13 on the road, though. Like, I
can.
You can. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, this is a classic. Watch next week. There's a lot of people in the media and stuff saying Brock Purdy shouldn't have fell off. Now he's like plus 1,300 to win MVP because of his performance against the Ravens.
Yeah.
It's a classic bounce back spot against a bad Washington secondary. I think 49ers go into Washington and just rout them.
It
doesn't matter who the quarterback is.
Injury, like, is it bad or like is he going to come back?
He's playing.
It's
not Darnold.
I just think 13 points, like, is it going to be Jacoby Brissett? That's what I want to know. Because if it's him, I think he covers. I mean, I think it is going to be Jacoby, but Trent Williams should be back on the offense. I don't know. I just don't see how Washington really stays in this game. I know it's 13, it's nasty, but I'll take San Fran to bounce back. It's the question with San Francisco is if they get down going into the second half, can they make a comeback without having, when it's under Kyle Shanahan's scripted, we run the ball, we establish the run, then we establish plays off of that to get big plays down the field, screens, whatever. They blow people out. It's, good night during the before halftime. But whenever they get punched in the mouth early and they're down at half or they're trailing going in to the fourth quarter, everybody knows Brock Purdy has to throw. It's not scripted. It's just that's the question about them, and I don't think they're going to have that question here against Washington. I just think they go in there and trounce them, and everybody's like, "Oh, San Fran, it was just a blunder, a couple batted balls in the air. They're still the best team by far." But I don't have at this point. I don't think 49ers go to the Super Bowl. I think they get in one of these situations against a Philly, maybe even a Dallas, maybe even the Rams. Like whoever they play, I think they could get in a situation where the script doesn't work in the first half, and then going into the second half, they're down and they're in trouble.
Brock Purdy versus Matthew Stafford in the second half. Even I put my money on Stafford.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I understand the logic taking the 49ers here, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna take Washington plus 13, but it is a half unit game because it's just.
I put a regular unit on 49ers bouncing back.
All right, so that's the third game we disagree on so far. We got the Cardinals visiting the Eagles next up in this 1 o'clock slate. Another tough game to bet on. It's at 10.5.
Another big spread.
Yeah, it's at 10.5 or 11 right now. I think you just take the Eagles here at home. It's usually a good bounce back spot. They've been one of the most unlucky teams after being one of the luckiest for a while. So I think this is a good get right spot for them. Kyler, he's sick or something. He's not practicing right now. He hasn't really looked that amazing anyway. So yeah, don't love this game, but I guess I'll take Philly at minus 10.5 regular unit.
Yeah. No matter who is quarterback for Arizona or whatever team, Philly's secondary can be had. The defensive front is supposed to be the the anchor of that defense, and they haven't been getting home this year as far as sacking the quarterback pressures or any of that. Nowhere near as much as last year. Last year they led the league, and that's part of the reason they went to the Super Bowl and were blowing teams out all year. But You heard it from Nick Sirianni a few weeks ago. You hear it from Jalen Hurts saying we're not committed. Devontae Smith coming off a 33-25 win against the Giants. It's like, I'm not happy with our performance. What better spot to get right than against a Cardinals defense?
Yeah.
So, but so I'm gonna take I'm with you. I'm regular unit. I'm gonna take Philly to cover over 10.5.
All right. Next up, we got the Saints at the Bucks, getting plus 2.5 on the road. The Bucks and Baker look legit for no reason, out of nowhere. And Saints, bad beat, didn't cover last week versus the Rams. Coaching woes as usual. Dennis Allen, he's a dummy. He's on our bad list. But I don't know. This is the sharp spot that it's just the top of the market for this Bucks team. I'm gonna take the Saints here. I like it at a double unit. The division underdogs in these matchups on the road, they've done pretty well this year. That is one road dog that has done well. It's a division game. So I like the Saints plus 2.5 at a double unit. I think the Bucks have been riding a little too high. I think public comes in pretty good on the Bucks minus 2.5 at home. So I don't know the line. It seems like it should be 3.5 or 4, but it's not. So I think they're telling you something. Take the Saints.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm putting a double unit on Saints plus 2.5 on the road as well. Which it's so weird that they've been a better road team this year than at home because it is hard to play with in New Orleans. Fans are crazy, and they get that dome. But I don't. Baker, I hope he doesn't. Obviously, he's probably not going to listen to this, but I hope nobody else. I think everybody else out there is like, oh, Bucks minus 2.5. Yeah, I'm taking that. Of course, Baker's rolling right now because that's when he would mess up. But,
yeah.
But people were saying, "Oh no, Saints coming in here going to upset him." Baker's, he's fraudulent.
That's when Baker
he goes
balls out.
That's when he's like that chip on that shoulder. Just he's like, "All right, watch this." Then
now he looks legit. I mean, everybody's buying jerseys.
I hate betting with the Saints just because they have looked gross, but they're still in a fight for the South, still in the fight to make a wild card spot even. Absolute desperation game. And yeah, like you said, this number should be over 3, and for some reason it's not, so I think the books are telling you something as well. So big pros versus Joes game here. Everybody's going to be coming in on Bucks minus 2.5. I'll fade it.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Panthers at the Jaguars. This one was at 7. It's down to 6.5. So some early money likes the Panthers at plus 7. This is a tough one, man. Like the Jaguars.
Is Trevor cleared to play? He hurt his shoulder. I guess it doesn't really matter because he's never cleared to play, and then all of a sudden Sunday he plays.
Right. He's a diva in that sense. Nah, I think it's just that their injury report it comes out, or they just want to wait until warm-ups or something. Let's see, his shoulder hurt, didn't practice Wednesday, doesn't expect to do much throwing this week. He's resting up for this game. He's going to play. I think that's the way we got to read it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Jacksonville at a 1.5 because it's the Panthers, and Jacksonville, they're really having a fall from grace right now, and here they have the Panthers. I know they don't play well at home, and we usually fade them at home, but the Panthers have been covering. Okay, their bounce back, their reversion to the mean is getting a little bit played out now. I'm not betting the Panthers spread anymore. I felt pretty fortunate to cover against the Packers last week with them, and they've been covering against the Falcons, teams that you're just not expecting, and then I don't see them covering 6.5 on the road going to Jacksonville, where Jacksonville really needs to get right. So I like the Jacksonville Jaguars at a 1.5 minus 6.5.
Yeah, it does feel like a perfect bounce back spot for Jacksonville. I'm right there with you. It's not up to a double unit because Trevor's not shown to play good at home or through injury. Please don't let it rain because apparently if it rains in Jacksonville, he plays bad too. It's some weird stat that if there's any weather, he doesn't play well. But I gotta back it here. I mean, all of a sudden they're tied with Texans and Colts. I think as far as record wise, they're still up in the division, so they need this game, and it is a good spot to get back right against a bad team. Panthers, I don't know how they came back against the Pack. I don't know what the Packers defense has been doing as of late. Against the Bucks and the Panthers the past 2 weeks, they just look atrocious. Letting Bryce Young come back down 2 touchdowns to get back into that game was another one we disagreed on. I just checked it up as a win, like kind of like the Jets. Once they got up 2 touchdowns, I'm like, okay, no reason to sweat this one anymore. Next thing I know, it's tied.
And that's exactly why I put a half unit on that one. And the Washington Jets. I mean, it's funny how both of them just stupid kind of game script. Like you don't feel comfortable. You don't feel comfortable on either side in that kind of game. It's just like, what in the world?
Yeah. But no, like I said, Jags, I'm unit and a half, minus 6.5 at home. I don't think it's necessarily really the public side, but yeah, this Panthers team is bad, and they've been playing horrible on the road all year. So just because they fired some coaches and stuff, Bryce Young, he threw for the most yards he's ever thrown for in the NFL. He threw for 312 against the Packers defense last week. I don't care. I still don't think they have any threats on the offensive side of the ball, really. And like I said, I just think it's a perfect situation for Jacksonville to get right. So I don't see this being a game going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, next up, we got the Falcons at the Bears. Bears, you were right about them last week. They still were the sharp side to be on. I'm going to come in and try to fade them one more time. I think it's the spot. You take the Falcons +3 here. They're a pretty good matchup for each other. These teams, they're really even. They got a decent run game. Quarterback is kind of streaky at best, and defense is middle of the pack. I like the Falcons, though, because they've got some incentive. They got pressure right now for Arthur Smith to perform. I just think that it still is the top of the market for the Bears. Like, now we're having consistent weeks where the Bears are the favorites right now, and it's been a while since that. I think Bears fans know that for sure. They're always usually underdogs.
They're not out of the playoff race.
The Bears?
Yeah, they're not.
I mean, they're in the hunt, but it's a very low probability.
Yeah, they're like 6 and 9. I mean,
they need
like
a lot of things to go wrong.
Chance,
yeah,
right?
For other teams, it's not just what they can control. Like, they need other crazy events for them to actually make it. But
well, see, they're going to get the first overall pick no matter what, because they traded it. Carolina wanted Bryce Young so bad they traded with them last year, so they'll probably replace Justin Fields no matter what, even if he wins these last 2 games.
Yeah.
But no,
you like the
Falcons,
Bears?
They suck. Falcons suck on the road. It sucks too because I had Atlanta winning the division, and they really need this game. Taylor Heineke does look like an improvement compared to Desmond Ridder, but this Bears defense is just playing lockdown football. And Heineke, you can only game manage so much, and I just think still Justin Fields will play well against this Falcons defense. And yeah, 3 points is. If it was 3.5, I'd probably take Atlanta, but at 3, I'll ride with the Bears.
I like Atlanta in this one. I don't know. I understand it. I mean, it's at a field goal, so it's pretty close. They're saying they're pretty much even, but yeah, I don't know. I like Falcons to cover at just a regular unit.
I really think Chicago has the better team on both sides of the ball right now. Like both their defense is playing better than Atlanta's defense, and I think their offense is playing better than Atlanta's offense over the past month.
Yeah, I mean, definitely
so to say they're even in Chicago, I just don't,
I'm just trying to pick the spot to fade this Bears team, man.
I know.
They've been covering.
It's probably the public side, the one it's square what I'm saying, but
yeah.
I said, if it was the hook, I'd be like, okay, this should probably comes down to a field goal game. Maybe Atlanta even wins, but where it's just at 3, I can't. I think Chicago wins the game.
All right. Next up, we got the Raiders at the Colts. So this is probably one of the trap dogs of the week. Of course, right away, I would think take the Raiders +3.5. That looks like some value. But no, we gotta take the Colts here. -3.5 is the sharp side. You got 70% of the bets coming in on the road underdog Raiders. Not a good sign. They don't play as good on the road. Yeah, they just upset the Chiefs, so they won their like mini Super Bowl of the year because they haven't beat the Chiefs in like 3 or 4 years. So yeah, I'm gonna sell high on the Raiders right now and buy the Colts after they finally returned to the mean a bit like I was expecting. Been fading them the past 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm gonna jump on here and get back on the train. I think -3.5 is just like sucking you in. Take the Raiders. They want people to hammer the Raiders.
or I can maybe look it, or can you look it up for a second and see if Michael Pittman is he practicing?
He still don't know where he's at after that Steelers hit, man.
I mean, I wouldn't know where I was at for life. I'd be dead after that hit.
He said he didn't remember the hit. I just thought that was pretty messed up. But let's see. He's a limited participant on Wednesday's practice. So I mean, he probably gonna play. But
yeah, I like Colts here too. I feel like I'm on a lot of favorites this week, which is maybe that's the way it's been all year.
Mattered. Yeah, it hasn't really mattered.
Yeah, but I do. I'm fading the road dog, public dog. I do like Indianapolis. Like I told you last week, they play horrible on the road. They play good at home. Shane Steichen, I think, will end up probably getting this team into the playoffs, and then they'll go on the road to it'll probably be Kansas City, knowing how lucky they get, and they'll rout the Colts at home or something. But hats off to Shane Steichen for being in this position, chance to win the division, even chance to make the playoffs. But yeah, I think Vegas is a little overplayed here. I mean, they didn't. Aiden O'Connell didn't have a completion. It was like halfway through the second quarter. So for the last 2.5 quarters of the game, he didn't have a completion.
Yeah, it was just
something crazy like that, and they still won the game.
That defense,
but it's because
that's it. Nothing.
Yeah,
to do
but
with the offense.
Colts score on everybody. Like I said, Shane Steichen, great call player, and then with Pittman back, it helps out a whole lot. So. Yeah, I'll swallow the hook and take Colts to win this one. Even though both fighting for playoff chances, but Colts looked bad last week, so I see why they're the public's coming in on Vegas. But I don't care. I'll take the favorite here.
Yep, same
regular unit.
All right, we're now getting into the 4:00 games. First one on the slate, we got the Steelers visiting the Seahawks. Steelers bounce back pretty good, and well. Is it time to pick up the Steelers right here, or is it time to fade them? You gonna fade them?
Yep.
I don't. This is one of the ones where I was like, I don't know what to do with this one. Just feels like
it's the same. It's the same thing as the last game. I think the Steelers are probably a public dog going into Seattle. Geno looks head and shoulders better than Drew Lock. He's back. He's healthy. He's playing. Seattle's a hard place to play in, and it comes down to what team can put up some points, and I think Seattle can. I don't think Pittsburgh will be able to. So they look really good with Rudolph against Cincinnati. That was a classic spot. Me and you both called that. I should have double united it with you. But yeah, no, not here on the road against Seattle. Seattle's look a little bit of a fraudulent team. In their own right, I don't think that they're. Maybe it's just because of the expectations I had for them going into the year. I thought that they would give San Fran a good run for their money for the division. That ended up not happening. But yeah, I like Seattle. Swallow the hook here as well. Another favorite I like.
This is a tough one, man. Because if it were like -3, like I understand it, but it's just like Steelers.
Take your Steelers. Makes me happy when you take them.
Oh, Steelers in the hook is so tempting. But I mean, you're right. It's 51% currently of the bets on the Steelers spread right now. So it's like really in the middle. But man, this is a tough one. What did the Seahawks? Let me look at the Seahawks recent game.
They won 20-17. They beat Philadelphia the game before that with Drew Lock.
Yeah, I'm gonna just take the Steelers. I'm gonna take the Steelers plus 3.5. Just to. Oddly enough, the Seahawks haven't been as good at home. They did upset the Eagles at home, but other than that, they've been worse at home this year. So I'll take the Steelers right here, but don't love it. Not a great game to bet, but I'll take it at a regular unit plus 3.5.
Okay.
All right, next up, we got the Chargers at Denver. Sean Payton made the announcement that he is benching Russell Wilson for the remainder of the season. Devastating loss for this team at home against the Patriots. Patriots came in and just crushed their dreams. I mean, we talk about. I mean,
Russell brought them back.
I know this team is like a roller coaster. Like 1-5 to they're going to the playoffs. They're gonna maybe win the AFC West, and then all of a sudden to just They're not going to make it. It's just this team is just.
They're not going to. That's why they put Stidham in.
It's a freaking roller coaster with the Broncos this year. But yeah, I guess I'll take the Chargers with the confusion. I don't really know what the Denver locker room is right now. I don't know how Russell's feeling about the benching. He could potentially be moved easier without having to pay as much money. I think that was the whole reason behind it. I don't know.
Yeah. So the Broncos, they're still going to have to pay a significant amount of his contract, but that's why they don't want Russell to play anymore, because he has had a good season. Last week was not his best performance against a good New England defense. They've been playing everybody well, but the Broncos got to broadcast him coming back down 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions against New England, and now they're just going to sit on him and hope that that's the last thing you see, and they're going to hope that somebody picks him up in free agency and pays a good portion of his contract, because I think Sean Payton wants to try to grow with a quarterback at Denver. He's still a young guy, probably plans to be there for years. So
I understand the move for a financial reasons, but I mean, Russell cleaned up his act this year as far as performance, but he is at he's already peaked. So I get
it's just this weird thing with his contract that if they don't let him go and some team picks him up this year, then they're in the same situation going into next year. It's like you can do it now or you can wait a year, but it's no better or worse if you do it now or then. So it's weird because they extended his contract before he even played his first game with them. He signed the contract and then they gave him an extension during practice. It was weird. So that's why they're kind of trying to cut ties with him. But he may end up still being the starter for Denver next year if they can't find, if they have to eat that whole contract. I think they'll just start him and maybe draft a quarterback and second or third round to sit in behind him and eventually replace him. But I don't know. I think he played well enough this year that there'll be some bites out there and somebody will take a chance on him.
Yeah, he definitely looked. He looked like a.
But I'm with you. I'll take Chargers plus 3.5.
I don't really.
It's like a half unit play. Yeah, I don't like it.
It's just. I mean, both of these two teams are just in shambles somewhat. Their locker rooms. So I mean, what do we do here? I mean, Chargers have nothing to lose. I think the Broncos. They've lost all momentum, and now their locker room is probably have really bad morale. So I'll just take Chargers for that reason, because I mean they almost beat the Bills. I mean, and they're just still playing, so they're just whatever at this point. But yeah, Jarrett Stidham, I don't know. I don't think he can defend the turf with the hook. I just don't the hook
Denver needs so many things to fall the way to make the playoffs. They're not going to make it, but I do hope, because I like Russell Wilson, so I do hope Jarrett Stidham just goes out there and plays horribly, and but because I do think that Russell is still a competent quarterback in the league. He just last year he looked so bad, and he's been so cringe in the media or whatever. He's getting a lot harder time than. But at the end of the day, they pay him a lot of money to play well, and he did not play well last year, and he's played better this year, but he's still not a top 10 quarterback right now in the league.
Right.
So I get it from both perspectives, but yeah, I'm going to just take the divisional dog on the road and the hook, and like I said, it's a half unit play for me.
All right, next up, we got the Bengals at the Chiefs. Chiefs.
What is this spread? Yeah.
The Chiefs, this is a 7-point spread, or you can get 7.5. You can get the Bengals on the road, 7.5. But
don't take the Chiefs.
Dude, it just
I don't care. Bengals plus 7.5, I'll put 1.5 units on it. The Chiefs have so many problems right now. I know it's in Kansas City, hard to play, but that pass rush got home against Mahomes is scrambling before he even needs to scramble. He does not trust his tackles right now. Cincinnati has a good pass rush. They played horrible against Pittsburgh last week. They're still in the playoff race. To be getting over a touchdown after the way Kansas City just played and has been playing as of late. I mean, they haven't scored more than 20 points 7 times this year, and you're playing a good defense in Cincinnati. I don't know. I mean, you can say that this is a good spot for
the
Chiefs
setup.
To get right.
It's just what's been going on, and it's every public better right now is probably going to take the road Bengals like as dogs.
I don't know about that. I think people just back the Chiefs until they, miss the playoffs or something. Chiefs is always that's the NFL's darling. Like even during this spurt,
the Chiefs
Mahomes
are like
has made people so much money over the years.
Yeah. It's right now it's like 43% on the Bengals. It's not terrible. So,
Yeah, they're still. I would say the public's still coming in on Kansas City minus. I mean, like I said, the Bengals are coming off a terrible game against Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs. Steve Spagnuolo's defense, like if they have anything going right, is that teams cannot score on them. And I mean, this is not a great. I think
Jamar Chase is still out. He's gonna be out on this game too.
This is not a great.
That probably affects the line.
Yeah, I mean, and L'Jarius Sneed on their second best wide receiver locking them up. I mean, they're gonna have trouble just moving the ball. I mean, that is one thing about this Chiefs team that's way different this year. I mean, their defense is clamps, and
yeah,
I'll take them just because of they've got to. I know that they're fired up, and I know that they're gonna come out pretty hard in this one, but. Yeah, it's hard to take them at this number because it's just like the Eagles as of late. Just because they're supposed to bounce back doesn't mean they will. And I mean, the Chiefs could just not cover this number again. So I respect taking the Bengals here as well. So I'll just regular unit Chiefs -7. Playing the spot. Don't love the way the Chiefs have been playing at all. They don't have an offense right now. They don't have pass catchers. I mean, it's a problem.
Yeah, I'm putting unit and a half on the Bengals at +7.5 because you can't get the half point over the touchdown. So yeah,
I respect that for sure. All right, let's see, next up and last up. Yeah, we don't have a Monday Night Football game. Well, I don't think there's any Thursday football games after this week, right? This is the last Thursday game.
Next week it'll all be on Saturday and Sunday. They may I think they may flex one game into the Monday night slate, but everything should be on Saturday and Sunday.
This last game of the week, we got the Packers at the Vikings. Both teams tied 7-8 right now. I don't think they can make the wild card, can they? Are they in the hunt?
Packers?
Packers and Vikings.
Yeah, they're both
still in the hunt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Packers getting 2 on the road. They've looked pretty bad. They're not covering anything. I know you're frustrated with them. This is tough. This is a really tough one. Like I sort of lean Packers when I look at it right away, but I could be swayed on this one. I'm gonna just be honest. You give your case.
No, it's a double unit play. Take Packers.
Take Packers. All right, I'm not doing a double unit, but I like the Packers. I was on the Packers side, so that makes me feel better. I'll take Packers regular unit +2.
Yeah, Packers win this game outright. I know it's on the road, and the defense has been playing horrible the past 2 weeks, but Nick Mullins, he likes throwing it to the other team. He do it 3-4 picks against Detroit. Shane Steichen, I think he calls probably a really conservative game after that, and that's just not. They have such good athletes on the outside, but they're good at kind of running just go routes or like long crosses, and Nick Mullins having to make those throws. They're not. Justin Jefferson and Addison are not screen guys. And they got banged up. I don't know if Hawkinson's cleared to play. I don't know if Addison or Madison's cleared to play. So
Hawkinson's
getting
out.
Hobbled.
He's on IR.
Getting a hobbled team with a quarterback that has to have no confidence after that Detroit loss at home. And then I'm getting Jordan Love. He's still playing good. It's just hoping that this Packers defense can make some stops down the stretch. And I think they will. I think Packers win this game outright. So I'm going to put a double unit on Green Bay plus. Can you only get 2 or can you get the half?
Only 2.
2. That's fine.
Good breakdown of it. Yeah, that makes me feel a bit better. So if you're riding with the pack, you're in good company. We got both of us on it. That's it for week 17. Hopefully we have a good bounce back. We only got 2 more regular season weeks to bet on. I can't believe it. It's already down to playoff time, and yeah, it's crazy, but been a
real quick. We'll do this too because I don't know what our recap video is going to look like too. Just 2 bonus picks. I'm taking Michigan -1.5 and Washington +4.5 as far as college football playoffs go.
So you're fading Bama. Put it in.
Fading Bama and fading Sark and Texas. I think Washington has a chance to win the game outright, but 4.5. I love that. And yeah, Michigan, I think they're a much better team than Alabama, even with all this
drama
stuff going on behind the scenes, whatever.
You've been on that Washington team all year. You liked them a lot.
Yep. But I like their coach, and you give them that much time to prepare for a Texas team. I like Tech. I like Washington a good amount, but honestly, I like Michigan more to beat. I think that they beat Alabama. It's not.
What is the public perspective like? Where are the bets coming in on those two games?
Sharps are on Alabama. Squares are on Michigan, and then the Texas side, I think Sharps and Squares are both coming in on Texas.
So both the wait, is Michigan favorites or dogs?
Michigan's favored by 1.5.
Okay.
So public's coming in on them a little bit, but not too much because it's Alabama,
Yeah.
But Sharps like Bama a lot.
Okay, well, there's your bonus college football bets. I don't want to give any advice on those two games because I am the worst college football bettor there is. So I'm not gonna try to sway you. Just take his picks if you want to bet college.
Right. Yeah. I just want to throw those in because I don't know if they play on Monday, and I don't know when we'll do the recap video where it's New Year's. So
yeah, I'll probably be good to do recap Monday, but if not, we'll definitely do it Tuesday. But yeah. About to bring in the new year. Hopefully we bring it in by smashing Week 17 spreads. You're on a lot of favorites, a lot of chalk sides, but it really hasn't mattered this year. So we're going to see how this week plays out. Hopefully it's in our favor. And thanks for tuning in. As always, let's cover the spread. Peace.